Hi, boys, guys. Welcome back to the new episode of the ightpues podcast. I'm your host, Henry Bertil, and my co-host,
Sebastian Morales.
And today is a very special day for over here in the ightpues podcast. Is actually, if you see over here, it's the 1 year anniversary of the ightpues podcast, which is pretty fucking crazy. Sebastian and I were talking about it. Joseph was here earlier, but it's pretty crazy experience. Just overall, it's just crazy how fast time flies, and just crazy how that's 1 year anniversary for that podcast, man. It all started with an idea, right? Obviously,
it always starts with
just an idea. It all started with us in the game room. It was just a small little table, and I remember Sebastian being so nervous.
I was.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna celebrate. That's what we brought back the Shrillies.
Yeah, I have a shit ton of shit. I have my water, I have my boba, and I have a Truly. I think this is my third Truly. That's your third.
Yeah, I haven't ate anything, so if you guys could,
we're just celebrating for our 1 year anniversary. Really, I'm really proud of like how far we've came for sure. For a lot of podcasts start burning out after 15 episodes, maybe like 2 months within the like putting out content, but
right.
we stuck with it.
Yes, sir.
We've had obstacles, more specifically, like I'd have to say, like with our scheduling, just because with this whole podcast, it was really more of a changing my day-to-day routine or my week-to-week stuff.
Right.
So rescheduling was the biggest obstacle, really, and also like some equipment stuff, like recording, like
equipment. Yeah.
I was learning Adobe, like just the basics of cutting, like where it's like showing the camera of Henry and the camera angle of me.
Yeah.
And the hardest part was like if we fucked up the recording here, it fucked up the whole video. And what I mean by that is like if the audio doesn't synchronize, I fucking hate that shit. It fucking blows my mind. But we still put out videos. We still I'm just really proud of like we didn't give up. We will not give up.
Yeah, no, yeah. I feel like obviously there's a lot of stuff that kind of like came our way where we had to put a halt, which there's a lot of things which family stuff, a lot of stuff happened. He had to go out of town. I had, some shit going on, and and then obviously when we moved from the game room to this room, we had to paint, we had to renovate, we had to look at a tad better.
The shittiest painting you'll ever see.
Yeah,
but
it was terrible.
It's the taste of us.
Terrible.
Right? Like,
you could tell.
If the lights were on and you guys, if we showed you the corners, like there's paint on the ceiling and shit, but it's the work of the ightpues podcast.
But we're just proud because like we said like, hey, we can't record in the game room the whole time. We had an extra room. We told ourselves we're gonna move here, and we did. It took some time. Everything here is literally Sebastian and Henry vibe. This is like us two, both of our heads put together and creating this room. We wanted a very cozy and comfortable room, and thankfully all our guests that we've had have said like, hey dude, this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool little setup we had, and we're pretty proud of what we've created for this whole 1 year. Sebastian and I, like I said in our last podcast was Adrian, we tried to go ahead and plan ahead of what we're going to talk about, and we both noticed that this week today is the 1 year anniversary of the ightpues podcast, so we obviously want to come in here, celebrate, go over this whole year, crazy year, the ups and downs, and the episodes in general. So Sebastian and I, we went ahead and planned ahead. We've created a list.
Yeah, we did. We made a list of 5 categories, and I'll go ahead and list them off. So the first category is the funniest. I know, keep in mind, this is like referring to episodes.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much. So the funniest, then the second category, eye-opener. The third, favorite guest. Even though we had all special guests, and we appreciate everybody's time.
Yeah, everyone was good.
Just want to make sure everybody knows that. Yeah, it was. And the fourth is favorite episode. And then number 5, it's referring to the podcast in its entirety of what is going to make us continue this podcast, and what we're going to do to improve for the podcast, and basically list that out. So I wanted to see, Henry, what is the funniest episode for you?
So before the podcast, we had to go ahead and quickly
make the list of like
of each category, and it was hard. We made so many podcasts, full episode. We made a lot of IP shorts. So Sebastian and I, we had to quickly go on Spotify or whatever and quickly look at the episode we made, because I forget, like, oh shit,
we had 39 episodes.
39 episodes. I didn't even know that. Like, so it's pretty crazy. We had to go in, and there's a lot of podcasts I actually literally forgot. I don't know about you. There's a lot of podcasts I was like, oh shit, we made that with that one person. Yeah, so I had to go back and see, like, remind myself, kind of refresher. But for me, the funniest podcast, for me, it had to be the Death Hike.
Okay, so yeah, I got
Grand
the same
Canyon.
one. So me and Henry kept it a surprise of which one's ours. So we just want to see the raw reaction of like what we said. How alike are we?
Yeah,
I'm very nervous of how alike we are.
Yeah, hopefully not.
The funniest is the Death Hike.
Death Hike.
I found it the funniest because it's the one that's made me laugh the hardest.
Yeah,
that episode was basically Henry and Israel telling us about his. Yeah, basically the episode revolves around Henry and Israel. They went to a trip to the Grand Canyon. They drove all the way over there. So that episode, if you guys want to listen, keep in mind all these episodes are on the ightpues podcast. It was super funny because I didn't know anything about their trip. I didn't ask them how it went because I knew it was going to be an episode. Henry said, hey, we could talk about what happened on the episode. So that whole episode was just me finding everything out for the first time.
Right.
And that one made me laugh the hardest. 100% was Death Hike. It's with Israel Macias and Henry, of course, and me. But it was so fucking funny. And the reason why is just because how they talk about it. It made me feel like I was there. I know that's some sappy shit to say, but just seeing them talk about it made me feel like it just made me laugh. I really enjoyed that whole conversation, just listening.
Yeah. For me, the reason why. Oh, there goes my pen. The reason why I find it so funny.
Get your pen, man.
No, the reason why I find it funny.
He's gonna get his pen now.
The reason why I find it the funny is because, like, obviously I experienced it. Mm-hmm. I experienced it, and just looking back at it, it's a funny situation, you know, almost facing death or whatever, quote unquote. But it's funny for me because I know Sebastian laughed hard and Israel laughed hard, and it's just the whole situation. Like, I could, like, kind of like outside in. Like, if I watch someone looking at me saying, like, motherfucker, if you keep asking for my fucking bag, I'm going to lose my shit. And it's just a funny situation. It's a funny situation. It's a unique situation for Israel and I. But, yeah, if you guys want to check out that podcast episode 25, Death Hike with Israel Macias. Number 2, the eye opener. What's that episode for you?
Oh my god! I don't think this one will be the same. It's the episode with Anthony Gott.
No.
Okay, thank God.
Right. Why Sebastian Morales?
What's the title of that? Can you look at the Spotify? Yeah, what's the title of the Anthony Gott?
Let's quickly scroll down on that podcast episode. It was a long time. It was last year.
While he looks for the episode title. Oh, you got it?
The one with Anthony Gott was episode 11, Kicking Ass, Acting and Modeling in Twitch.
Okay, yeah. So the reason why this was an eye-opener for me is because Anthony Gott, basically when we have guests, it's basically meeting them for the first time almost and what they're doing and what they want to accomplish. Anthony is an actor, and he's been on YouTube channels, like big YouTube videos and stuff like that. Very talented stuff. I've watched it. Once he told me, like, he was on these certain channels, I forgot the channels and I'm blanking on that. But the reason why it was an eye-opener for me is because he explained how much he enjoys it. And I think we all have a universal understanding of actors when they're starting to, like, start small. They don't make money. You had to have source of income to help with that dream, right? But it just showed me that chase what you want to enjoy. Chase something that's going to make you enjoy doing it for the rest of your life and shit like that. Yeah. It was an eye-opener for me like that, is because this was when we started this podcast during the pandemic, basically working from home. That was the regimen, is just working from home. And that's pretty much it. Work out, sleep, repeat, right?
Right.
So when Henry came up to this idea of, like, doing the podcast and stuff like that, it helped me change my routine. I get to learn something new. I get to put myself out there. And the whole situation of putting yourself out there on the internet, it was really nerve-wracking. And then when I came to when Anthony got to that podcast, just hearing how he talks about it, I'm like, man, he really puts himself out there acting and on YouTube, and a lot of people seeing him. It just opened my eyes to the fact of like, hey man, if you enjoy it, do it. Like literally one of the most two nerve-wracking parts of this podcast for me, or experiences, is with the hitting record for the first time on the mics so people hear me talk out on the internet, and also when we introduced video episodes. I was nervous.
And can I say quickly,
No, for
real
sure.
quick, it was kind of like a cool moment for me, because for you guys to know, I had a YouTube before, which I don't post anymore, but I know the experience of putting yourself out there with YouTube, with with even Instagram, just being a little bit vulnerable, and for you, seeing you in that experience was kind of cool, outside in.
Yeah, it was, with the whole like just taking the leap of just say fuck it, who gives a shit, bro. And that's why Anthony God really helped me do that, is because like he's just chasing what he enjoys, man, and he doesn't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. And that was eye-opener for me, because it helped me continue this podcast of how I am right now.
Thank you, Anthony. You're a real one. You got.
Yeah. What about you?
So I had 2 episodes. So I'll let you know. I don't know if you want me to go in depth. I mean, we still got a lot of time, but I got 2 episodes for that. I don't know if you care for me. It was hard. It was hard.
It's the 1-year anniversary.
It was hard for me to really decide for the eye opener. So the 2 eye openers for me were the episode 23, meditation, mental health, and shrooms, with my boy Daniel Lemons, and episode 24 was the go himself, Abel Bertil, my little brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I know why Daniel Lemons. I think I know why, but you're gonna explain it still. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious about Abel's.
So with Anthony,
no, with Daniel, fool.
I mean, it was Daniel. Sorry, I'm still thinking about it. No, so yeah. Give me a second, guys. I'm having a little Trulies. So with
This man's actually fucked with Truly.
Nah, I haven't ate anything. No, so with Daniels, I feel like he had a very just his mindset of like meditation, how he goes in depth about that, shrooms, and his own personal journey about like him taking shrooms really kind of opened my eyes. And remember what he said, man, I'll never forget what he said when he had that shroom trip and he saw the devil, and the devil came up to him saying, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Nothing really matters, guys. If you guys listen to the iPod
Don't be
podcast,
depressing.
No,
this is
don't be
celebrating. This
yeah,
is celebrating.
No.
Celebrating.
In the ways, no, it is celebrating, but like it's kind of eye opener, because I guess like the reason why is because like all the worrying, our happiness, like our worry, our sadness, our anger, we tend to worry so much about something, right, in life, like all the hardships. We worry so much, but in the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't, right? Because in the end of the day, if you're happy, sad, any emotion they feel, we're all gonna end up dying. So why feel like that, right? Why feel sad? Why feel anger? Why feel resentment?
Okay, you're focusing on it's because you said happy as well.
No. I meant that in the
I know what you mean. It's like more of the like, because how Daniel explained it was like, these are just temporary emotions.
Temporary emotions. Yeah.
So it's like how you have to control yourself on how you feel and how you react to these things. And I know what you mean is like, if anger, sadness, all these negative emotions are temporary, do not live in that moment forever. Don't dig yourself into a deeper hole, because like you said, at the end of the day, I mean, you're getting buried 6 feet under, or cremated, 6 feet under. The fuck, or even it's funny that you say that. It's because like in Modern Family, they fucking the mom dies, and for y'all that have watched Modern Family, it's like a little sitcom. They fucking infuse a lady's remains into a tree, and she becomes a tree. So I'm gonna do to you, bro. I'm gonna make you a fucking tree. But I get what you mean, and it was definitely an eye opener.
Yeah, it was, and it really like I sat there thinking like, damn, like it really opened my eyes, and it's another. It's cool, He like I said in the last podcast episode, like jiu-jitsu, like I only talked to him in jiu-jitsu, right? Communicate him with jiu-jitsu, but it was really cool for me to have him come over and really talk in depth about that, about emotion and depression, and just life and jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So that right there was eye opener. So thank you, Daniel, if you're listening to this for whatever reason.
Yeah, all our guests that we mentioned, thank you for y'all's time.
We're gonna keep saying, yeah, we're gonna keep saying it throughout this
you're
episode.
Special, and that we appreciate the time you've given us. What's your second?
My second was episode 26, not theories, just facts, was Abel Patil with
his little brother.
My little brother. I'm not being biased, but I highly recommend to please check out this episode. We've had some good feedbacks on that one, and I'm gonna go in depth why I enjoy that much. So with my siblings and stuff, we're very kind of like, we live with one another, but we really don't talk to one another. I don't know if you're like that with your siblings. So we're not as close as we used to. Like, you know, obviously when you're younger and shit, you're fucking jumping around and shit. So it's really cool. I always knew. So when we have guests, obviously I'm gonna bring someone that I feel like that, first of all, we're gonna enjoy, and our guests gonna enjoy, right? So I had Abel in because Abel, my little brother, he's very intellectual in the way of like theories, and like he's very smart when it comes to science and stuff like that, and like some history. So I knew the podcast would be good. I knew like he would enjoy the stuff we talked about, and I knew you enjoy it personally.
100%, I did enjoy that episode.
And the reason why I felt like it was an eye opener for me is because remember, he goes in depth about the human mind, like how powerful it is, that like we kind of underestimate the power of our mind. And that kind of opened my eyes, because it's like we do underestimate our mind sometimes, you know. We're
our hardest critique.
Yeah.
If there's anybody that critiques you the worst or the hardest, it's yourself. 100%.
Yeah. And we talk about that, and that kind of really opened my mind, and we talk about life after death, which kind of cracked me up. How I asked Abel, like, hey, what do you think is gonna happen after death? Do you think it's gonna be nothingness? And then this guy goes, I hope not, bro, I'm gonna be bored. I'm like, dude, you're gonna be fucking dead either way. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean you're gonna be bored? You're gonna be asleep. Yeah, so that's kind of but yeah, for an eye opener, that really opened my mind. Like him talking about like the power of a mind and life after death, and I don't know, it's kind of eye opener for me, just because having my little brother here really kind of meant a lot to me, to understand him in a different level. So
damn,
so yeah,
interesting. That was good. I was curious why you say Abel, because he always talks shit about Abel with the guys.
No, I talk shit about him, but in a friendly way.
It's a friendly, like a brotherly way.
Yeah, brotherly way. I care about him. Abel.
Yeah, I was highly interested in hearing what Henry had to say about that episode. Number 4 is our favorite episode. Mine was the Yosemite trip with the boys. What was yours, my friend?
No, you describe yours and I go here.
What was yours, bitch? Say it.
Smile. Smile. You're on camera.
Is that our first fucking video? Yeah. I'm sorry. That's our first actual video.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right, go ahead.
The reason why Yosemite trip with the boys is I love hearing the stories of like trips. Like that's the reason why funniest was when Israel and Henry went to the Grand Canyon. My favorite episode overall was talking about the Yosemite trip with the guys we went to. We went to California, and it was like 7 of us, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Yes, it was hectic and tiring, but I think like during that time I really needed a trip and some relaxation and fun, and not gonna lie, like doing all this shit and like figuring out what we wanted to do made it a little bit more fun to me, just because like I don't know, it was like spontaneous almost, and I really enjoyed that because as you guys know, I don't want to live a routine life or anything like that, change it up. So it was really important to me that I went on that trip, and there was a bunch of laughs. Dude, I remember the first fucking day there, we're walking to fucking Denny's from the hotel.
Oh yeah.
After that, I had like a weird fucking omen on me. Like I kept falling everywhere. Like not like even after coming back from California, really? I'm like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with me? So we're walking, and bro, literally, I'm just walking and talking to the guys, and all of a sudden, my right leg just falls into some deep fucking hole, bro. And I mean,
I thought you were doing push-ups. I was like, oh shit.
Literally, my right leg was able to fall completely, and I fell on my knees on the sidewalk. I'm like, damn, this is embarrassing. We're already starting the fucking vacation strong as fuck.
That shit was funny though. Funny.
It was funny, but like seeing Yosemite, fucking hell. I love nature, man. Like just being out there, seeing what the earth is and what was created from, like all that shit, like erosion, from water erosion, wind, whatever. And that's not the main point, but the main point is like just seeing what the earth looks like, bro. It's fucking beautiful. I fucking enjoyed every fucking minute we were in Yosemite National Park. Even though the driving kind of sucked because you had to drive like an hour there to get there and then an hour back to get out to go to basically get back home. But that trip was very important to me, and just talking about the trip and like just remembering everything that happened, it was just super fun. I really enjoyed it.
So I mentioned this earlier. He asked me my favorite episode. So I just want to point out for you guys that are listening, like I said, we had to go through and like look through the episodes. I was gonna say every episode I had was the guests. The guests were amazing, honestly, truthfully. I learned a lot. But the reason why I picked episode 22, Smile You're on Camera, is because our goal was to get on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we've talked about it. Sebastian pushed me like, hey bro, when are we gonna work on that room? When are we gonna renovate it? He pushed me. So when we finally were able to come in here and record for the camera, see this man on camera for the first time, it really means a lot to me. Just because like I felt like that was kind of like the next phase we're entering, which was YouTube, and that episode for me personally, it's gonna be a favorite for me just because like the first episode was a favorite for me, but like being on YouTube is kind of like a big thing. We're putting ourselves out there, and just we talked about the podcast, what's coming forward, and like I said, it was very hard for me to pick a specific favorite episode. All of those episodes we've had is a favorite episode, but that one for me will always stand out to me just because it's the first episode we posted on YouTube. If you want to check it out, guys, it's on the ightpues podcast on YouTube, episode 22, Smile You're on Camera. But number 5, the reason why we can keep going.
Yeah. And I want to touch up on this. The reason why I want to keep going is because I enjoy it. I really enjoy working on this shit because I have fun. I really do. Talking to you, talking about a random topic, it's fun. Our guests, it's good to have people over and just hearing them talk about the podcast. And just the more work I had to put into something else, right? I'm not always chasing that night. I work a 9 to 5, and like I get to chase something else, like something I really care for. And it's this podcast. Like you can ask Henry. Every time we set up this room to film, I always take at least 10 to 15 minutes setting up the camera, setting up the lighting. He gets annoyed at it because I know he does a little bit, because I tell him to sit on my chair so I can see the angle, see how you sit in frame. Yeah, in some ways he's a perfectionist. He wants to make sure that everything looks good. He wants to, with the resources we have, right? Yeah, like we're just filming from a fucking phones and using a free software. These mics cost like $60. Yeah. I think of my unassigned job for this podcast is to make as much or to create value with what resources we have. Right. And like that, the fucking projector idea, like this wall, I fucking enjoyed putting everything together. It was really fun. And that's one of the things I enjoy every single time I'm working on this fucking podcast. The most tedious part, and I know I'm talking about my side, and then we'll talk about Henry's. The most challenging part about this podcast is still scheduling, just because sometimes guests fall off and sometimes they don't. They're committed to the date, but also like life happens, right? So sometimes we have to reschedule and shit like that. But one of the things that like was hard for me or very tedious is the fucking editing, because it's easy. Don't get me wrong. Like editing is not that hard. Like depending on what level you're doing, I'm basically doing the basics. Level 1, cutting video and putting music, cut scenes, shit like that. Export it. Like I say, I'm at level 1 or still on the fucking tutorial video editing, but it is so tedious. But I still enjoy it, and I also had to rewatch the whole fucking episode again. But it's tedious when I had to cut the camera angles, like do the video from my camera when I'm talking, the video from his when he's talking. That's the most tedious part. It's super easy, but I enjoy it, man. Not everything about a podcast is gonna be fun and easy, so I just know like I gotta keep going, and we're always trying to find ways to improve the podcast. Like right now, we came up with the idea of how to film better with a guest. We recently figured out.
We're trying to change the angles and stuff.
We recently found out, like after watching the episode with Adrian, I'm like, fuck, we have a wide angle, but we're always looking at the guest because the guest sits here, and we're always looking at him or her or whoever the fuck the guest is, a dog, I don't fucking know. It's just like we're figuring things as we go. So the new setup we came up with was like, oh, we can have a coffee table and have a couch. We have a couch over there.
The cats and couch, we call it.
And we're just now figuring out new camera angles, and I just have to accept that we're always gonna improve, and it's always for the better.
Like
being stagnant is not good.
And that's something he pointed out. I'm gonna point that out. He did say that we can't stay stagnant, and
yeah, like literally we started doing TikToks, not like the dances and shit, none of that, but we just post.
And they're gonna catch me dancing.
But we started posting like clips of the podcast too. This man's on his fourth truly. I love it. He hasn't drank in forever. But we just need to put ourselves out there more on TikTok of like clips of the episode, shit like that. Today we talked about more content, what else we can provide for our listeners. Stuff like that. I also enjoy that shit.
It's exciting.
It is. What about you, Henry? That pretty much wraps up everything for me on that end.
Man, why? The reasons why we keep going. First of all, it's fun. It's fun coming in here, guest or no guest, and I feel like we get to learn a little bit about ourselves, a little bit more. And we get to learn about our guests a little bit more. It's fun because it just like the reason why I want to keep going is because truthfully, guys, I'll be honest with you. It's time to be honest. It's the 1 year anniversary. There's days where I question myself. There's always those like self-doubts and like why am I doing this, right? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a relationship. You ask yourself like,
you want to break up with me, bro?
Like, yeah, like, nah, bro.
Yo, fuck
no,
you.
Right? It's like a relationship with any girl. You start questioning yourself after the honeymoon phase, right? I mean, I don't know, but no, but like it's you start to question yourself, like, oh fuck, like those self doubts, And I remember like this one time, like this one guest, or not one guest, like a listener, I'll say. I'm not gonna say a fan. A listener told me like, hey man, that podcast episode was good, man. And I always hit up Sebastian like, hey man, this guy said this guy, or this person said this. Mm-hmm. That's enough fuel for me. The one person is enough for me say like, I'm gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying? Just because like if that one person is allowing themselves 30 to 40 minutes to listen, using their time, which is quality time, is obviously special. But like for them to stop and listen to our podcast, like that's crazy to me. Like it's crazy for me to even like process that, or even with my own videos back then. Like I like, what the fuck?
I feel you on that because I'm the same way. Like when Henry sends me the screenshots, is like, oh dude, look, someone likes us, right? I always used to think when YouTubers always said shit like, oh, thank you for subscribing, like reaching a milestone. Now after doing a podcast and stuff
for a year, bro.
We're not at the levels of the celebrities of YouTube,
but
nah. I now know why they say these things because it does mean a lot.
It's humbling.
Literally, remember that one comment? We finally got our first comment on our TikTok, and the person said, I should stay away from this podcast with the crying laughing emoji because it was like a little clip of a funny part of the podcast. And it just fuels me. I'm like, damn, this person enjoyed it. I'm super glad. They just enjoyed this like little minute clip of it. I wonder if they're listening to the podcast, and I don't know. I underestimated what the power of like recognition does from random people. Like with your friends, like we appreciate their words, but obviously, when it's random, we appreciate them. Biggest supporters, man. I really appreciate them all.
Yeah,
but like random saying that shit, I'm like, damn. That gives you fuel.
Yeah, that gives you enough fuel, man. And it's just like that right there is the reason why I want to keep going. I want to keep going because, you know, I made a commitment in the beginning, and I'm happy that I brought Sebastian in. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy how this whole thing is like fucking playing out, because, you know, I feel like I came up with the idea, but the idea was to do it with Sebastian. It really was. And it's crazy. Like, I think I was like working with Amazon. I was just driving, and a idea came up to me. Do a podcast, you know, because I have a very creative mind, quote unquote. Creative
this man's
mind.
always in his own head, and that's because the idea came from him being an Amazon driver. Because he tells me, dude, when I'm driving all day, dude, I just think the craziest shit.
I have thoughts.
And I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Like, when he brought this idea with me, I felt so honored, Henry.
This guy.
I felt so honored that I felt so happy that you chose me to be your co-host, and I think we vibe very well, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, it's my boy. I feel like our chemistry works well. I've been told our chemistry works well.
We're fucking making our own jokes.
Yeah, we're making jokes. We have dark fucking thoughts, but
dark humor.
Dark humor.
God, fucking.
But
Dude, we're so fun.
But
we're fucked in the head.
No, for our
the
small
Alex Jones shit.
Yeah,
kind of retarded.
Yeah, kind of retarded. But no, for everyone there listening, to all my teammates in Jiu-Jitsu, and for all my teammates in Peak Watauga, thank you for supporting Sebastian and I. It really means a lot. Like, I know our friends, like, I know you guys, for our friend group, they know us. We shit on how we are. We shit on us. We talk so much shit. We're very toxic, but we care for one another a lot. I remember when we first started with the idea, our friends were very supportive. They said, yeah, go for it. Like, do it. And that's when you know they're the real homies. Like, even like right now, them listening, it really means, like, I know right now they don't probably give a fuck, but like, it really means a lot for anyone to like watch either our full episodes or ightpues shorts, or even our shitty, to go through our shitty episodes. We've had some, I'll admit, there's some episodes we recorded where I'm like,
dude,
my ears are bleeding. Like,
dude, we've had
terrible.
episodes where we're like, dude, this is dog shit.
It's dog shit.
We're
Fuck it.
out
Like,
there.
we're trying. We're improving.
We're
Like,
improving.
as long as we're improving from each episode, that's what means a lot to me. I wrote down here honorable mentions.
You did?
Right. Honorable mentions. Honorable mentions.
Right.
We won't specifically categorize
You didn't
it.
tell me we were supposed to do this shit.
Hey, I hit you with that little surprise.
Fuck.
The surprise attack. Okay, let me explain this. I wrote down honorable mentions because this doesn't have to fall in any specific category.
Okay.
But let's mention a podcast that you haven't mentioned yet, but you just want to get out there, and why you want to get out there. Why did he mention it? Honorable mention. Go ahead.
Fuck. It'd have to be episodes with Victor Altamirano. Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
Like, he always fucked that up. We've had that man a guest twice. One, when he became the LFA champ.
We watched it live.
We watched it live. And then the second is when he got a contract with the UFC.
Yes, sir.
Dana's White Contender Series. And the reason why I say those honorable mentions is because Victor thinks at such a deeper level about fighting than I ever would. And it's not really regarding... It's regarding the fighting and how he took it to a deeper level, but I was able to relate that to other things in life. I asked this man, bro, what goes through your fucking head when you get smacked hard, or just you know you're hurt from a punch, right? He was like, man, not only he told me not only does, like, he just doesn't focus on that, but he also put it in a different perspective than, oh, that shit hurt, right? That shit hurt.
Yeah.
He said, oh man, I'm facing someone that worked equally as hard, more or less, wherever. But to get to this point with me, that I'm fighting this person, I'm able to receive a punch. I'm like, okay, this person's trained this much. And he just took it to a whole nother fucking level that I would ever thought. And I was just able to relate to other things. Like, maybe if I take the time and analyze things in the correct manner, I'll be able to think differently, right? Or react to things better.
Like him, yeah.
Because I'm a very I've been working on it, and I think the guys noticed this. But back then, like back in like what 2-3 years ago, I used to get mad easily.
He did. He used to be a hothead.
I used to be such a hothead. I used to get so pissed easily, and now I'm like, I've worked on it. Like, and now I've been better at being patient to think what I'm feeling and how to react properly. So I think that has to be my honorable mention for sure, 100%.
So I was looking through the Spotify the episodes just to refresh myself. Like I said, we had quite a lot of episodes. But honorable mentions for me. Take a guess. I'll let the man take a guess.
Truly. Also, drink responsibly. I forgot to mention that.
No,
randomly.
Get fucked up. Get
No,
crazy.
yeah. I just want to make sure drink responsibly and be of age. I'm gonna guess. Okay, I'm really gonna guess here. Your honorable mention. Dude, is it with Eric?
No, I'm sorry, Chimoko. Your podcast is lit, but no.
Okay. Let me get another one.
I'll give you one more.
Is it with a guest?
Yeah.
Give me that hint. Okay, it's with the guest.
Yeah. And it's a guy.
I don't think we've ever had. I think the only girl guest we had was Pamela when we had that group episode. Oh, and Grace, yeah. It was a guy. It's a guy. I'm like going through everything in my head right now. Adam?
No.
Who?
I'm
having
second thoughts now because you mentioned something.
Well, tell me the first fucking answer.
Nah. The first answer I want to mention, I'll say episode 9.
Honorable mentions of okay.
I want to mention episode 9, staying fit with Joe.
With Joseph?
Yeah.
Oh God, Mr. Keys himself, Mr. Handsome.
Yes, sir. We just had that man here.
He was eating Chipotle.
I was like, oh God,
he was eating Chipotle, and he lifted his bowl, and you see fucking I-35 vein going through his forearm.
114.
Dude, this man's ripped as fuck. He's so inspiring. I look at him, I'm like, bro, I hate you, bro.
Yeah,
because like he just cracks me up about and and the reason why I say inspiring is because Joseph is a hard ass worker and dedicated to his fitness. I remember one time we were squatting. Oh no, we were leg pressing. Bro, this man said, dude, I went to the point where the music started fading away. I was like, this man's willing to, he takes it to a whole nother level. But damn, all right. So it's Joseph Keys.
So honorable mentions. I'm gonna give you my reason why. Episode 9, staying fit with Joseph Keys was Joe. The reason why is because I don't know. It's gonna be kind of weird because I just saw him. I talk to the man every day. He's a homie.
Talks a lot of shit to him. We all talk a lot of shit,
but he's a homie. The reason why I want to go out there and mention this is because I guess our story, how we became friends.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, for you guys, listen to that podcast. But the reason why is because, Joseph and I, we hate each other. Hated. Like
they don't hate each other now.
We don't hate each other anymore.
They hated each other.
But we hated each other back then. And he used to be best friend with my brother. And then something happened, and then I became friends with him. But the reason why I want to mention this because Joseph, not for me personally, but for others, I think he's like kind of like a good person to look up to. Like he said, he's aspiring. I've known Joseph since he was in sixth or seventh grade. This dude was literally fucking scrawny. Like, if you guys know the podcast episode, I push this man. Can I push him now? Maybe not. I don't know. I do jiu-jitsu, but I don't know. But I want to mention this out there because he's a homie. It's crazy how we became friends. It's weird how life works, right? How we're friends now. He's a homie, and like I said, he's a good guy to look up to. The dude went from scrawny to fucking swole, fit guy. Like I said, he's a good homie. I mention him because he's just funny dude, fucking weird dude. but I mean that in the best way. He came here, talk about his life, how he stay fit, staying disciplined. You know, he has his up and downs like we all do. And yeah, I just want to mention that, man. He's a good dude, and I appreciate for him coming.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Joseph.
You.
I appreciate you because every time I have a flat tire, it's called Joe. Because every time I get flat, my jack is just dog shit. So he always helps me out.
Yeah.
And I remember we changed the brake pads to my old car, the Toyota Corolla.
Yeah. He's that homie that
he will help you out.
Yeah, he's the homie that helps me out.
To.
Yeah. He's the homie that helps me out. Like Joseph, he knows what's up. But like this one time that I was doing some shit, and he helped me up on the personal level. But I really appreciate that. But yeah, that's an honorable mention. I highly recommend you guys to check that out. The episode 9, Staying Fit with Joe. He's a good dude. So I just want to go out there. Honorable mention. Let's see. We got 5 minutes. So real quick.
Oh shit, my bad. Well,
we're a year in, and this fucking motherfucker turn that shit off.
Oops. Hey, so, bro, it was just for the 5-minute mark. You see how you said, "Oh, we got 5 minutes." It's just a reminder.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play that off like fuck.
So we already talked about what we enjoyed, the ups and downs. I think a good way of ending this podcast will be.
We just want to appreciate y'all, or in my opinion, we appreciate everybody that's listened to this podcast and has stuck through it. And the feedback, good or bad, I really appreciate the bad feedback because it helps me improve.
Yeah, shit on us. Come on, shit on us.
It does help.
I don't give a fuck. No, I cry in the shower, guys.
I should have too, here and there. No, after some comments, he starts crying in the shower. Yeah. I can't believe he said that. We really appreciate you guys fucking hanging out with us, listening to us, and to more fucking episodes, man. We have another year. That shit's gonna say fucking 2 next time.
Yeah, hopefully.
2-year anniversary. Hopefully. I mean, before we die, hopefully we're not dead by then. God damn it. Oh, God. We're gonna push out more content, better content. We're trying to figure out more things in the works. Like we'll figure it out and we'll improve for sure. But we appreciate you.
For 100%.
100%. And thank you for your time.
Oh yeah. My final thoughts real quick is that it's crazy because I was thinking about it today, right? We had this podcast coming. We record either Friday nights if we can or Saturday morning, which I love, honestly. Which was his idea.
Yeah, because I was worried about this fucker. Because every time after fucking working, we wanted to record. And there's been multiple occasions where he fell asleep. Yeah. I'm like, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, there's one time I actually overslept. But final thoughts real quick, guys. This means a lot to me just because like I said, with everything came with the idea. I did it with my boy Sebastian, and I want to keep doing it with my boy Sebastian.
Oh, thanks, man.
It makes me kind of reflect over the whole year, the ups and downs. You know, 2020 was a shitty year. 2021 was all right for me.
It was almost equally shitty because this whole situation is still going.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy times. I'll say that. It's crazy times. It really made me look back and appreciate, guys. If you guys don't know, I've never personal relationships, jiu-jitsu, goals, YouTube, dieting. I've never been this committed to something. The podcast was actually something I've been committed, and it's only because first of all our fans, and also with Sebastian.
You're gonna make me blush, man.
Nah, don't, you fucking bitch. But it just like the reason why I'm so happy I did it with Sebastian is because like when I did my YouTube, when I did dieting or jiu-jitsu, even or my workout, whatever, you stay stagnant. Sebastian kind of kept me going. I hope vice versa.
100%. We can rely on each other to keep pushing ourselves forward.
Keep pushing ourselves to keep improving. Even when I kind of don't want to, he wants to keep going, and it makes me kind of match his level. Yeah. We sound so fucking gay, but
hey man, it's being emotional and hey, we're being vulnerable, bro.
And to our fans out there, real quick, like we sound like a broken fucking record. To the boys, you guys know who you are. I know we share each other, but I know we care about one another truly. Thank you for
dude. Hey, truly, just sponsor us. You see how we fit that in
there? Hey. But yeah, thank you for you guys to listen to us. It really means a lot. Thank you for you guys to watching us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Please, you guys, please, if you guys really enjoy our episodes, tell your fucking grandma, your dad, your fucking mom, your sisters, your brothers, a friend, your dog.
Yeah, we're available on all podcast platforms.
All podcast platforms.
Go
YouTube,
ahead and just...
We're on Instagram.
Yeah.
iPut Podcast.
And
TikTok. iPut Podcast.
Yeah.
He controls that. I don't. Yeah, but thank you guys.
And have a kick-ass weekend.
Kick-ass weekend.